Hello friends, in today's video we're going to be discussing the easiest way that we can actually generate PDF files inside our .NET Web APIs. We're going to be relying on a NuGet package called the Quest, and we're going to be utilizing it in order for us to generate those PDFs. So let's get started. What I have here is an empty .NET Web API. Basically I have two controllers, one's called orders controllers. It does not really contain a lot of information right now, it just have some bare bone code where basically it allows us to have some kind of a product. And the reason behind this is I want to try to generate a PDF file which represents, for example, an invoice. And in order for us to do that, we're trying to mimic an e-commerce site where we're actually able to download an invoice after someone have done an order, for example. So in order for me to facilitate that, what I have here is an order DTO. And within this DTO, all I have is the content, the title, the username of the person who did it, the price, in case there's an asset ID, the format, the size, and the licensing, for example. So if I come here, all I'm doing right now is just creating a list of product, and basically I'm just utilizing random product. Actually, let me change that to utilize the X here, so I can say the price can be something like that, and for the ID I can also add this. So we have different types of information, and the title I'm gonna give it different name, something like that. So now when I run this, I'm gonna have 12 different products with different information. Now that I have my bare bone implementation, what I wanna do is I wanna add the package that I need. So inside my terminal, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put .NET add package quest PDF, and it's gonna download it. Okay, perfect. Now it has been downloaded successfully. What I can do is I can check the CS proj, so I can see it's installed successfully inside my application. Perfect. So now that I have this, I'm gonna come here and start actually creating the code in order for me to generate this PDF. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create here a new function, and this new function is gonna be responsible for creating the PDF file. So we're gonna start first by private memory stream. I'm gonna call it generate PDF. I can call it whatever I want. I'm gonna pass some information to it. So all I'm gonna pass is the list of orders that I have and the total order, and that's it. So now this is my function that I wanna use, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start populating it. So in order for me to utilize QuestPDF, what I need to do is I need to set up the types of license that I have. If we go to their website and we click on licenses and pricing, we can see for a community, which is basically free, we don't have to pay anything for it, which is really good. And in order for us to do that, all I need to do here is I'm going to add the following. I'm going to put settings, and we can see it's part of QuestPDF. I'm going to put .license. I'm going to put equal to license type community. And that's it. It means that I can utilize this NuGet package inside my project for free. Now, once I have done that, the next step is I need to specify my PDF stream. So I'm going to put PDF stream equal new memory stream. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a memory stream where I'm actually able to add all of the information that I need inside the stream, so I can convert it into something which the user can download. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rely on document.create. I'm going to specify my container, and this is the wrong package which got referenced for the document, so we need to utilize the right one. I had a feeling, and here we need to utilize the QuestPDF ones. Perfect. So now that I have my container, inside my container here is I need to specify some of the main information for my PDF document. So we're going to start first by specifying the page that I have. So I'm going to call it page, and within this what I need to do is now I need to specify some information regarding my page. So I can say the page size, I can say it's going to be A4. Let's fix this. I can specify the page color, so I can put page color. I can say colors, let's say white, which is a normal PDF standard. And for now what I'm gonna do is all I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put dot generate PDF, and I'm gonna pass to it the PDF stream that I have just created, and using that PDF stream I'm gonna return it. So I'm gonna put here return my PDF stream, and that's it. So now I'm gonna have just an empty web page that I'm gonna be using. And now inside my main action, I'm just going to refer to this function, and here basically I specify my order detail, I specify the random amount that I have. It's not really accurate, but it's just sample for now. And in order for me to download it, I'm going to put response.header. I'm specifying the content disposition. I'm specifying the attachment, giving it a file name. And now what I want to do, I'm going to utilize the PDF stream, and I'm going to specify the position. I'm going to say equal to 0 for the stream, and then I'm going to return that file and make it download. So now let's run it and see what's going to happen. So if we click on debug, we can come to our browser, put /orders, and now we can see we have an empty page that we can actually use in order for us to generate our PDF. Perfect. So now let's continue building on this. This basically laid down the foundation that our PDF generation is actually working. So now we come back here to our page and let's add the sections where we're going to be generating the content. So I'm going to put page.content. I'm just going to add some padding. So I'm going to put padding horizontal. I can say 30 or 20. I can put dot padding vertical. I'm going to also add like 20, for example. I'm going to specify my font size. So we're going to put default text style, and then I'm going to specify my font size, and I'm going to make it, for example, 12. And here basically I'm just defining some structure around my PDF document. And now what I want to do is I'm going to start adding the data. And the way that I add the data is I rely on something called columns. And columns, if you take a look at the description, it says where it draws a collection of elements. And these are the elements, basically the text information that I want to add to my PDF document. So I add my column and I specify my column description. So basically here I'm going to specify and tell them what are my information that I want. So now what I'm going to do is after I specified my column, I'm going to create another method, and this is going to be responsible for generating all of my information that's needed inside this column. So it's going to be private, it's going to be void. I'm going to call it build detail. It's going to take the column descriptor. I'm going to call it main, and I'm going to specify the list of orders that I have. And now that I have this, I'm going to start populating it. So first of all, I'm going to use the main dot item. I'm going to say it's going to be inside a container, for example. I'm going to add some text. I'm going to say these are going to be my purchase details, something like that. And I'm going to say, for example, if it's bold or not. Oops, I need to close this, and then I'm going to say if it's bold. So that's the first item that I want to add. And to see it in action, I'm just going to come back here, and I'm going to pass here first of all my main, and I'm going to pass my order details. So now let's run it and see it in action. Now it's running. If I go back and click on run, we can see here now I can start seeing my information be populated, which is perfect. So going back here, let me stop this again, and let's just add a simple table so we can actually see the information being populated. So all I'm going to say here, I'm going to put main dot item dot container dot table. I'm going to say table, and then I'm going to specify the information behind this table. I'm going to put table dot column definitions, and this basically is going to allow me to define all of my columns that I want. And basically here it's a table, so I need to specify the header for them, and I need to specify the width and height. So because I have a few different columns here, it's going to be pretty simple. So I'm going to put columns dot constant column, and this is going to be 60, where I'm going to put the title, for example. And then I need to specify the rest of them. So I'm going to put column dot relative columns, and this is going to be basically the relative width based on the first one. I'm just going to copy paste it and add, let's say, for example, 4 of them. And that's going to allow me to have my initial structure. And basically I'm telling it it's a table and it's going to contain this amount of columns. So once I have done that, the next step is I need to build the cells. So now what I want to do is I want to actually loop through the list that I have and then basically create every single row information. So I'm going to put for each order details. I'm just going to call it detail from order details. And inside of here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the following. I'm going to put table.cell.element, and then I'm going to specify my cell configuration. Let's add a semicolon here. And then from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put cell.container.the text that I want. And in this case, it's going to be, let's say, detail.title. And if I want to specify a font, I can do it directly attached to here. So I can put .font, for example, and I can make it 12. I can change it 14, whatever I want. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want is if I want, for example, to add another element, instead of typing it all again, I'm just going to add something here. So first is going to be the title. Then I'm going to put, for example, the price. I'm going to change this. I'm going to remove this size. I don't want it. I can even make it in a more simplified way where I can put table.set.text. I can put, for example, detail.assetID. I can put the format, for example. And lastly, I can put the licensing, anything like that. So now if I come here and run this and I go back here and open this again, and as you can see here, I'm able to directly create my table. I specify the purchase details, I specify the title, the information, some random data, the media, and the license type. And I did all of that with basically less than 100 lines of code. And all of this has been created automatically for me. All I had to do is specify, first of all, the title of that page, specify the structure of my table here, And then once I specified that, inside my order details, I just create a very simple table where I'm looping through the list of information that I have in order for me to be able to populate it with the information. Pretty straightforward. So the reason you might want to use this over this one is if in case you want to stack information on top of each other. And basically we can see here with a very simple amount of code, I'm able to generate a very thorough PDF document that I can utilize inside my applications. I hope this video was helpful. If you like it, please make sure you like and subscribe. It will really help the channel. If you'd like to support me, please consider supporting me on Patreon or buying me a coffee or becoming a member of this channel. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.